What's up everybody? As we finally head towards the final days of 2020, I wanted to discuss what final new Overwatch content we can expect to see over the next few months leading into BlizzCon Online, and most importantly, Overwatch 2. While we may not be getting anything as major as a new hero before then, there are still things we have to look forward to, so in this video I want to examine what exactly Blizzard has in store for us during what will hopefully be the final days of the Overwatch content drought. This is Master Ian Gamer. Real quick, I'd like to remind you to subscribe and stuff that bell icon if you enjoy this video, and consider hitting that join button down below to become a channel member and earn some cool rewards. But now, on to the video. So first up, let's start with the month of November. Now, at the time of me making this video, we're already a good ways into the month of November. However, we have yet to actually see the new content we'll be getting for this month. And the first of those, which is a guaranteed new thing, is the next comic. Now, back in September, Overwatch game director Jeff Kaplan confirmed that we'd be getting 5 new comics, with 1 new comic being released every month. And the first one we got, of course, was in September, the second in October, so the third is going to be sometime in November. As I said, we're already a good ways into the month, so it seems like there's not much time left before we end up getting this new comic. In fact, there's a very good chance that by the time you're watching this video, the comic is already released. As for the content of the comic, we can expect it to continue the story of Tracer and King's Row and the events going on surrounding the assassination of Mundata and the Omnic tension which is starting to rise there. Hopefully we'll get to see more development of characters like Iggy and Case, but we're really just gonna have to wait and see. Beyond just the comic, however, there's also a very good chance that during November we're going to end up getting another mini-event, or hero challenge as they're officially called, which of course will feature a new skin for a certain hero along with some cosmetic items, and you unlock those cosmetic items by both watching Overwatch streamers on Twitch and by just getting wins in game during the event. Now, the reason we're expecting a new mini event this month is because of how Blizzard has been handling events and the hero challenges over the past few months. In October, we of course got the Halloween Terror event, which is a major event that we've been seeing year after year. Prior to that though, in September, we got the Tracer comic book challenge mini event, which of course corresponded with the first comic which released at that same time. Prior to that, we had Summer Games in August, but then prior to that, in July, we had Sigma's Maestro Challenge, which again was a mini event. So assuming Blizzard keeps up this pattern of mini event, main event, mini event, main event, we can expect to see another mini event of some kind taking place in November. As for the theme of this mini-event though, we're really gonna have to wait and see. I could easily see them tying it back into the comic series like what they did with Tracer's challenge in September, or it's entirely possible that they just decide to keep the two separate and make the challenge something completely different. For example, focusing on real-world holidays which take place during the month of November, one possibility would be for the hero challenge to focus on the American holiday of Thanksgiving, with the real-world holiday being focused around families coming together and typically eating very, very large meals. I could imagine seeing a hero like Roadhog potentially getting some kind of Thanksgiving skin. I mean, he is a big fellow, he could certainly eat quite a bit as we've seen from one of his highlight intros, so it definitely seems possible that we could get something focusing on Thanksgiving and a hero celebrating that holiday, most likely by eating. And for people who are saying that, oh, they couldn't do Thanksgiving because it's exclusively an American holiday and Blizzard would want to do something a bit more globally representative, we did get the Mardi Gras challenge back at the beginning of 2020, which is also a fairly minor holiday that's only celebrated by certain people in certain regions. So if they did Mardi Gras, I think there's a legitimate chance that they could do a hero challenge focusing on Thanksgiving. But again, it could also be the comic or something else completely different. I'm actually really curious to hear what ideas you all have regarding what this upcoming hero challenge could end up being, or maybe the hero challenge has already started by the time you're watching this video and I'm sure you'll leave some snarky comments saying exactly what it was and making fun of me for not knowing something that hasn't happened yet. Anyways, that's enough for November. Now let's move on to December. Just like in November, we can expect another new comic issue in December, further continuing the story of Tracer and King's Row. I don't think I really have to say anything more about that. Basically just expect a new comic for each of these months. But in addition to the comic, rather than getting a hero challenge, we can expect the 2020 Winter Wonderland event. Like Halloween Terror, Winter Wonderland is of course a main event, which means it's going to have its own loot boxes, new cosmetics, and everything exciting that we expect from major events. In fact, I already made a video recently talking about when we can expect the 2020 Winter Wonderland event to start, as well as which heroes are likely to be getting skins in that event. So if you haven't seen that video already, I recommend you check it out. I'll have a link to it both down in the video description as well as in the cards on screen. Other than the comic in Winter Wonderland though, there's probably not going to be anything too significant taking place in December. Jeff Kaplan might end up doing another Christmas Eve live stream. Fingers crossed, I always enjoy those, so hopefully we end up getting one of those. But that's not really content. Some people enjoy those. Most people, I think, are rather indifferent towards it. But if you are into it, like I am, then we also probably have that to look forward to. Hopefully. Moving on to January 2021 though, we'll be getting the 5th and final issue of the comic series, which will presumably wrap up the storyline they have going here with Tracer, and hopefully serve as some sort of build-up leading into Overwatch 2. Now, of course, we don't know just yet whether that's going to end up being the case. Blizzard could decide to have the events of this comic series just be completely independent of whatever ends up happening building up to Overwatch 2, or they could maybe use it as a vehicle to move into Overwatch 2. Really, either could end up happening, and we'll just have to wait and see what they end up doing. But in addition to the final comic in January, we can also expect the Lunar New Year event to most likely be starting sometime towards the end of that month. As many of you likely recall, the real-world Lunar New Year, which is what the Overwatch event is based on, changes quite a bit from year to year in terms of its exact date, and in 2021, the Lunar New Year will be taking place on February 12th. So I think there's a good chance that the Overwatch 2021 Lunar New Year event will be starting sometime in late January, and likely be running through the majority of February, and ending pretty close before the start of BlizzCon Online, which, of course, is taking place at the end of February. And speaking of which, let's move on to February. This is going to be the final month I talk about in this video, because this is basically where things come to an end in terms of what we can reasonably predict going forward with Overwatch. As we all are well aware of, the hype for Overwatch 2 has, well, admittedly kind of diminished, given that we haven't really gotten any new news about it in, well, over a year at this point. But we do know for a fact that Overwatch 2 will be discussed at the upcoming BlizzCon Online in February, and honestly, it's going to be a bit of a brave new world going forward from there. We don't know whether Blizzard is going to announce some sort of playable beta for the community. We don't know if there's going to be some announcement of a specific release date for the game, and if they do announce the release date, we have no idea when that's going to be. We don't know what exact content they're even going to show off at BlizzCon Online. They could end up showing us some of the new heroes for the sequel, some of the new maps, maybe some of the story missions. There's a lot of questions that we just really don't know enough details about to even reasonably predict saying, oh, this is what I think is going to happen at BlizzCon Online, beyond just saying, we're going to learn more about Overwatch 2. So because of that, I'm not really going to delve into any predictions past February, because, again, I just don't think we have a good enough idea of what's actually going to end up happening then. For example, depending on how soon Overwatch 2 ends up releasing after BlizzCon Online, we might not even be getting the same events that we saw previously. Archives, which typically takes place in April, might not exist depending on what happens, since we know that some changes to the events are going to happen once they transition into Overwatch 2. Pretty much we just gotta hope for the best and pray that Overwatch 2 is nearing completion. So that's where I'm going to close off this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit up that bell icon, and follow me on Twitter if you did enjoy this video and don't want to miss out on any of my future Overwatch content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible, and if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Today's comment question: what are you looking forward to over the next few months leading up to BlizzCon Online? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.